Ah, tea.
Hold on, this is no time for tea. It's time for a kick-off! You think that'll do for an opening? I think for now that might do for an opening. It might work better being voiced by Nanka instead. I'll decide upon that later. This is the first official kick-off video I'm doing after all. And to be fair, I still have tea with me anyway. Can't go without a cup of tea. But yeah, as you may tell from that slight interruption, this is not going to be a tea time, although what it is used to be a tea time. Basically, I'm taking a sub-series I started to make with my tea times, known as Kickoff, a sub-series focused on promoting Kickstarter games that I happen to be backing myself. I'm taking that sub-series and fleshing it out to be its own thing, doing pretty much as I usually do with tea time, but having an excuse to have a lovely, unique artwork showing up on screen here of Nanka in a football uniform. Lovely artwork drawn by Louver UC, I believe, is how I pronounce that. I'll have the name pop up on screen as well, both now and at the end credits, which I've been really wanting to use the artwork because it is phenomenal. Really cute design and everything for Nanka, really dynamic design as well. I feel it had a lot of energy to it. And the lighting is fantastic. Every time I thought it was completed, it's like another thing got added to it, and it's like, wow, this is even better than the last sketch you sent me. But yeah, that artwork is being used for this kickoff video and any further kickoff videos I decide to make. And this is kind of interesting. This video we're going to be, this game we're going to be covering with this kickoff video. Not only have I been waiting to use this kickoff artwork of Nanka for quite a while to make this kickoff video, I've also been waiting to cover this game once again and have the chance to back this game once again, because this game is actually currently going through its second attempt at, well, by the time this video uploads, it'll have started its second attempt at having a successful Kickstarter campaign. I've covered this game once before, though very late in its cycle, and that game is Destiny Chronicles. As mentioned, Destiny Chronicles had a Kickstarter campaign before. It didn't succeed, but this time, and I covered it before, but again, I covered it very late in the cycle. It was only a few days ago. This time, thanks to being backer before and following up, I got access to sort of backer only features. So I was able to make this video in advance and be able to get uploaded a lot quicker to promote this, which I hope it will help, even though my user base on the Grin brothers is a lot smaller. Still, I'm hoping it'll help. Let's begin off with Kickoff, Destiny Chronicles, a character-driven action JRPG set in a world of a long-forgone past. Anyone who's watched previous Kickoff videos will know that my Kickoff videos tend to be a little bit more scripted than my usual tea time discussions and such. I've basically got like short sentences and bullet points here to guide me along on some of the things I got from just reading through the page and kind of abridging the preview page I got access to. Because thanks again to being a backer, I got access to a preview page for the start of their Kickstarter campaign. No video selection and a few other sort of things weren't shown, such as the price transaction £2. I've done that translation myself. But however, it gives me a good idea of how they're starting off their campaign. Okay, yeah. Destiny Chronicles, developed by Taiwanese game studio Visual Novella, is a 3D action role-playing game with a dynamic battle system, beautiful and mysterious locations to explore, and a character-driven story brimming with party member interactions. If funding succeeds, it is set to be released on Steam, PS4, and the Nintendo Switch. That latter one is actually the thing which convinced me to back the game immediately, because a lot of the games, their stretch goals for, back then it was a Wii U and then Nintendo Switch now, were often, stretch goals. And a lot of the time, the main goal for a lot of the games are only PC only, but I don't play PC, and I don't particularly play much of PS4. If Xbox One and Nintendo Switch really aren't part of the main goal, I don't have that much convincing of a reason to back it. This has Nintendo Switch as a main goal, no need to worry about it getting a stretch goal for it. So yeah, I jumped in straight away. Destiny Chronicles tells the tale of Celeste, I hope I got that name right, in pronunciation. I've spelled it right, just not sure if I got it right. Tells the tale of Celeste, a hopeful knight in training whose initiation is ruined by a mysterious thief. Thus she sets out from her isolated community of monster-slaying knights and out into the wider world of Darnesia. As Celeste strikes down monsters with speedy rolls, guard counters, and many other unique techniques learned for a free-typed talent tree, she is aided by AI-controlled partners Velena the Mercenary and Ruby the Mage. These two girls have their own reasons for helping Celeste. Velena was already in pursuit of the thief for reasons untold, whilst Ruby is hoping to uncover a shadowy organisation that many believe to be a myth. And I'll be sure to share these details with you through humorous banter and banter, one of Rafi's favourite words, and optional skit-delivered conversations, much like, say, the Tales of games, and quite a few other games have done that in recent years. They're not springing to mind immediately. Child of Light did the same sort of thing, but only after you gain a new Pi member, every sort of battle afterwards you'd get a new character. In any case, back to, of course, Destiny Chronicles. As Celeste journeys through Donesia, questions arise about the role the Ashen Order she belongs to. As Celeste journeys through Donesia, questions arise about the role the Ashen Order she belongs to serve, as well as the history of the ancient civilization that thrived in the land before a calamity wiped them out. I should have spaced that better. Destiny Chronicles has a Kickstarter demo available. I think that's part of the preview one only though. So if you popped on the current, by the time this is uploaded, the actual thing will have popped up all proper and all that. So you'll be able to see this demo for yourself and get to experience it if you back the game, along with further details explaining story elements, mythos, characters, the talent tree, monsters, and much more. So I highly recommend you check out that Kickstarter page. I'll have a link down in the summary below. There's also a few music samples there, and the music is fantastic. It kind of reminds me of quite a bit of Eternal Sonata, I gotta say, and I particularly love the battle theme. It's very peppy and Final Fantasy in some parts, but it's very Final Fantasy-esque in some parts, but its start is so peppy and almost electric, not electronic, but there's a very vibe. There's just this very energetic beat to it at the start, and then it gets to a more fantasy-esque, but still very, zappy, as it were. I love the music, basically. I love the battle theme. Oh my gosh, this makes me... If this game succeeds, which I really hope it does, I really want to play this game, I'm going to be so looking forward to a battle just to get that theme playing. The music's great from the samples they've got up there. The trailer for Destiny Chronicles, I have to give a lot of credit to, because it barely has any words in it, just like the title and a few tiny little words, but it mostly tells itself purely on the visuals it's showing off, starting off with its locations and then showing off combat and all that. And then a few dialogue scenes, but not enough to, only briefly shown before they spoil anything. And I think that's a really great way of showing off the game in a trailer. I was particularly enthralled by its trailer. Anyway, I've talked about, the game itself, but, along with obviously it being a really cool looking game, really neat to see a 3D action RPG pop up on Kickstarter, and that a JRPG one, but not specifically from Japan, Taiwan, I believe, even though their currency here is Singaporean dollars, apparently. There's a lot of reasons I want to back it. But some people might need a bit more enticing to back it. They might need rewards. Usually that's a reason that I end up backing games, is to have the chance to put either an anchor or a hat into the game. Won't be able to do this with this one, but I'm still wanting to back it regardless. And so, let's talk about the rewards. I hope this game sounds exciting to you, because I want to see it created, and funding is needed for that. £34,000 and £34,456 to be precise. Oh man, I kept making that sound cheaper and cheaper from the start. So let's go over the funding tiers and the rewards you can get for them. Again, that's only somewhat of an estimate on my part, because I have to translate the Singaporean dollars currency, but in pounds it roughly apparently translates to £34,000 456 pence. Sorry, £34,000 of £34,456. Oh gosh, what's that mean? Trying to make it cheaper. The starting tier gets you a digital copy for any of the free systems and is 27 Singaporean dollars, which is apparently roughly a little over 15 quid for me, and anyone else from the UK. Again, dollars, Australian dollars. Like Kickstarter's done this nice new thing where they translate the currency. It doesn't work with the previews though. But so when the actual campaign sort of page is up, you should have with your Kickstarter account, it translates to how much the funding is from the Singaporean dollars to whatever currency you have. Of course, I pay with pounds, so I'm going to talk about, things in pounds. For those early birds, though, which I'm hoping to be, you'll be able to gain beta access for 37 Singaporean dollars, about 21 quid, and spending 68 Singaporean dollars, about 39 quid, can get you a whole digital pack, including a digital art book, stickers, and OST. That latter one, the digital pack there, is actually probably the one I'm going to be going with. Definitely, more than likely, I'm going to go with that one to get everything. These rewards are only available outside of the early. No, these rewards are also available outside of the early bird tiers. I was going to say the complete opposite there, and for only around 4 quid more. It doesn't really cost that much difference, really. The early birds only get a slight shave off the price, which is fair enough. Still a slight shave, that's good enough, and it isn't enough to make people feel aggravated that they weren't there quicker. Going higher though, PC gamers can get a physical copy of the game for Singaporean dollars of 109 Singaporean dollars, which is only 62 quid for the UK, so decent price, about much what you'd pay for a game nowadays. Or even collector's edition for Singaporean dollars of 272, which is a bit pricey of 154 quid, but actually, same time, also kind of the price of some of these collector's editions you get from stores. So, fair enough, and it includes a lot of the usual things to get from collector's editions. Keychains, a t-shirt, a poster, physical art book, and OST, along with all previous rewards. Oh gosh, Rafford going nuts over that physical art book. I mean, he has this obsession. If a pre-order bonus is a physical art book, or a collector's edition is a physical art book for a game he wants, he always gets the art book. It's a strange compulsion he has. For more expensive tiers, spending anywhere from 475 Singaporean dollars to a whopping 5,430 Singaporean dollars, which is, for me, 269 quid to 3,075 pounds. Quid and pounds are the same thing, by the way, for those who don't understand the British terminology. Can get you rewards such as naming NPCs, custom illustrations, or designing monsters and bosses. If you've got the cash to spare, though, you can create your own side character, as in one who actually plays a key role in some of the game to a degree. Obviously not a main character role, but a side character of decent importance, for Singaporean dollars of 8,145. If I were to spend 4,612 quid, I'd be down pretty much half my bank account. So, yeah, although I would love to create a side character, I think Nanka would fit in very well, honestly, with the cast. The cast are very cute anime stylized characters in a fantasy setting, and Nanka would kind of fit in perfectly. I think for a game to compare it to Atelier series, the art style kind of reminds me of Atelier for the characters. They seem to have a bit of a similar design mythos to it. There's you can probably tell a few of the JRPG influences to this game. But I feel Nanka would fit in quite well, and even even if not that, a monster of having Hat as a monster would be pretty entertaining. But nah, I can't. I want to see this game succeed, but I can't. I have to be a little bit tight with my money. It's how I have a roof over my head. I'm still going to support it. Again, I'm spending about 40 to 50 quid on it with my tier that I want to go with. So still spending a fair amount, and I hope this game interests you enough to spend your own amount. And okay, oh yeah, obviously, stretch goals for the second campaign are not up yet, but going off of the last campaign's plans, we can expect further funding targets to include more monsters, additional zones, a hot spring side story, naturally of course, and even Japanese voice acting just to make it even more like and more anime-like. Yeah, and that's Destiny Chronicles. I could always click on the old campaign to talk about more. But I think I may include that information, any sort of additional information I can feel I could bolster this video out of. I'll be throwing a few bits of it on screen. For instance, I didn't go into detail of it because I wanted to fit all within a decent sort of amount, make this kickoff video a bit short, a bit snappier, a good goal. Not sure if I've succeeded with that, but hopefully I've talked about at least to interest you and capture your interest enough to click on that link down below to see the trailer and the Kickstarter page and all the much more in-depth information. I've only given you basically bullet points here, but there was some really interesting things about the combat techniques I mentioned earlier, how the speedy rolls and guard counters in particular, like guard counters have a unique guard counter state where basically there's two ways to guard counters. Either you do in the traditional fashion of you counter at the exact time, or you have a system wherein you put yourself in the stance, and if the opponent hits you whilst you're in that stance, you use a counter. I believe there are drawbacks to that latter one, for, various drawbacks for it, but the first one, of course, has the problem of being harder to pull off because you have to time it precisely. And of course, there was talk about the talent trees. You know, you got physical talent trees, magic talent trees. I think the other one was stat talent trees, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I would open up Google, but right now, but when I'm trying to do this recording, it tends to slow down the CPU a bit. Yeah, so there's and you know, they've got character profiles up there, including of that of the thief. I believe her name is like Kaya or Kalia. Again, some of the additional information I feel would serve as important, which is available on the Kickstarter campaign. I will include popping up on screen throughout this video. So just a quick sip of my tea. I love the tea. And yeah, Destiny Chronicles. It's whilst it's not a game I have any chance of being able to include Nanka or Hat for shameless self-promotion of the Grin brothers, it is a game which looks a lot of fun. It's very appealing and vibrant. The combat to it reminds me kind of a Knights of Azure 2. Would be a good comparison. Or kind of like a 3D Tales of Symphonia. Knights of Azure 2, actually, I'd say is probably the best comparison I can say off the top of my head. It looks to flow very smoothly, like the character designs, and there's a big emphasis on lore and mythos. Like one of the things I did actually want to be able to bring up, but kind of forgot to note them down, was about the locations. There's a lot of sort of interesting details about the locations, and they're clearly building a lot of history to it. Like even the original campaign sort of like tagline talks about like the mysteries and history of the kingdom of Denesia, or country of Denesia, continent of Denesia. So there's a lot of history being made for it, and uncovering that through the mysterious ruins and such is going to be a big part of the game, both subtly in exploring the new areas and in the characters discovering it as they go about their quests. As mentioned, Celeste starts to question the role of her order and whether they are truly doing their jobs to protect people from monsters, or if they're more focused on the artifacts, stuff like that. But again, all that sort of information is in far more detail on the Kickstarter campaign. Other things that appeal to me, again, absolutely love the music. Oh gosh, that is so good music. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this first proper kickoff video. It's you know, in this new revamped style. I hope you'll check out Destiny Chronicles Kickstarter campaign. I'm not saying you have to fund it, but if you are interested in it, you know, give it a consideration. Maybe do so. You know, if the funding succeeds, of course, this game actually comes into reality, and the lowest goal itself gets you the game. So, you know, if it succeeds, you get a game out of it, regardless of which tier you're back. So yeah. Hope you'll check it out. Thank you all for watching this kickoff video. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to comment below and all that good stuff. And again, feel free to check out that Kickstarter campaign. Cheer for now!